There once was a time when written numbers did not exist. Man had only his fingers and toes to use as counting device. Counting sheep and crabs using fingers, toes, rocks, and shells will get you only so far. So, human civilization invented the abacus, which the Computer History Museum suggests the oldest continuously used calculating tool aside from fingers. Here we share with you a visual history of some notable calculating feats. In 1623, the first adding machine that was called calculating clock was invented by Wilhelm Schickard. Schickard's calculating clock is composed of a multiplying device, a mechanism for recording intermediate results, and a 6-digit decimal adding device. In 1773, the first functional calculator was invented by Philip Matthias Hahn. Hahn's calculator featured a set of 12 drums in a circular arrangement that could be activated by a crank located in the axis of the drums. In 1820, the first commercially produced mechanical calculator that was called arithmometer was invented by Charles Xavier Thomas de Colmar. The arithmometer was the first commercially successful calculating machine to complete all four basic operations: the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The IBM 608 was the first calculating machine to use solid-state transistors instead of vacuum tubes. The machine was housed in several large cabinets. The machine's main memory could store 49-digit numbers and could perform 4,500 additions per second among the operations.
In 1961, first all-electronic desktop calculator, Anita MK8 by Bell Punched. In 1956, the Bell Punch Corporation of Great Britain set out to diversify from manufacturing ticket punches by producing a commercial electronic desktop calculator codenamed the Anita. According to the Vintage Calculators Wave Museum, the vacuum tube-based calculator was released in 1961 under the name Anita MK8. The machine featured approximately 170 cold cathode vacuum tubes, a decatron decade, counter tube, and humidifier, display or indicator tubes. Interesting fact, the acronym ANITA was intended only for internal use during the development of the machine, but the name was so ingrained by the time the calculator was ready for production that the company stuck with it. The acronym has been said to stand for a new inspiration to accounting or a new inspiration to arithmetic, but rumor has it that it's also the name of the designer's wife. 1967, first handheld calculator, Jack Kilby and his calculator. Invention of the handheld calculator, 1967. It's all in the marketing. Scientists might come up with great ideas for new technology, but it doesn't make much of a difference unless manufacturers start using the ideas. In the case of the integrated chip, industry was pretty slow on the uptake. The new chip, with its collection of transistors all made from a single crystal, could miniaturize practically anything if only someone was interested. To snag the world's attention, Texas Instruments needed a marketing gimmick. They wanted a flashy product to showcase the IC. A calculator seemed just the thing. In a mere 2 years, a TI group including Jerry Merriman and James Van Tassel and led by Jack Kilby developed a calculator small enough to be held in your hand. Just over 6 inches tall, this portable calculator certainly surpassed the all-transistor calculator released just a year earlier. That calculator weighed 55 pounds and cost $2,500. 1971, the first trolley pocket-sized electronic calculator to use LED display. Busicom LA120A Handy, inventor by Busicom. The Busicom LA120A, known as the Handy, is the first handheld calculator to use a calculator on a chip integrated circuit. According to the Vintage Calculators Web Museum, the calculator featured a 12-digit display in red LED and cost $395 when it first went on sale in January 1971. Because the calculator was so expensive, it came with a wrist strap attached at its base to protect it from being dropped. Interesting fact, according to the Vintage Calculators Web Museum, Aristotle Onassis, the Greek shipping magnate, gave the expensive calculators as gifts to friends. 1974, first handheld programmable calculator.
In 2003, first graphing calculator with touch functionality. Device name Sharp EL9650. Inventor Sharp. A brief history. When most people think of touch devices, they think of using their fingers, but Sharp broke the mold by debuting the first stylus-based graphing calculator. According to Tech Powered Math, Sharp unfortunately didn't find much success with the model. Interesting fact, the EL9650 had a slideshow functionality that allowed teachers to walk through pre-programmed lessons and formulas on the calculator. In 2010, first color graphing calculator. Device name Casio. Inventor Casio. A brief history. While the world of mobile devices quickly moved to full-color screens in the early 2000s, it took a while for graphing calculators to catch up. Casio calculator, with its advanced 216x384 resolution, full-color display, debuted in late 2010. Texas Instruments soon followed with its own colored calculator. The TI-inspired CX in early 2011, students could finally be goodbye to the monochrome low-pixel displays of years past. Interesting fact, the Prism allows students to create graphs over image, which helps them understand the real-world applications of the work they are doing on their graphing calculators. That's all, thank you.